And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Okay, I got my merce here, I guess, the little baggie. What is this? It says Eternal Revolution. Oh, this side. Uncle Chestnut's Table Gype. This is a game that's supposedly an older game. We're gonna be nice and pretend that's true, but I really think it's a newer game that was based on an older, some older ideas. But it's a abstract strategy game, which let's describe it as a mix between Chinese checkers, chess, and Yahtzee. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's really not what the combination is. I can't really describe it to you other than saying, let's look at it. So the board is cloth, as you can see, and it comes wrapped up inside a bag. Now, normally I'm not a real big fan of, alternative storage things. Boxes are good, thank you. But this is still easy to stick on a shelf or somewhere. It's a lot easier than, say, a cylinder. So we have the cloth board, and then there are sets of cubes, 8 cubes in 4 different player colors. And you can see that the different shapes have been burned into these with wood burning materials, and it's okay. I mean, it has this old feeling to it, which I think they were going to with the game. The only complaint I would have is that some of the lighter yellow ones and some of the tan ones are a little bit indistinguishable from each other. I mean, I guess when you look at them carefully, it's easy to see. So if I'm playing a 2-player game, I normally play red and green, or one of the colors and white. So anyway, each player is going to start with 8 pieces that they're going to put in their home row. You have 2 books, 2 swords, 2 trees, and 2 flames. Now there are actually 6 sides each piece. There's also 2 hat pieces, and there's a hat piece and an ear piece, but these are the pieces you start with. You can put them in any order you want. And then play just alternates between the players. On my turn, I move one of my pieces. Now, pieces move differently, so let's see how a piece moves here. A sword can move 1 space diagonally. Alright, easy. A book can move 1 space or orthogonally. A tree can move forward diagonally, or just straight forward. Or a tree can move backwards 1 space. That's it. So, and that one's pretty easy to, it makes the shape of a tree. It just makes sense. Anyway, let's see, a flame is the best piece, because a flame can go 1 space in any directions. Yay! Now, if you have an earpiece, for any reason, earpiece. But anyway, if you have an ear can't move. So, we don't have the ear, and the other one I mentioned was the hat. And the hat moves just like a knight in chess. So, woo, or, different ways that the hat can move. Now, that's not the only way these pieces can move. Well, it is the only way they can move, but if you have a piece, and there's another piece in front of it, you can jump over that piece as long as it's in the proper movement direction. So, for example, a book can go 1 space in any direction. Well, he wants to go 1 space in this direction, but there's someone here, so he can jump over him. And in fact, if there was another piece there, he could continue his jump. And just like Chinese checkers, he could jump all the way across the board. When he's done jumping, so be it. Each piece that was jumped over must then roll to see what piece they are now. You were a flame, now you are a hat. And the object of the game is to get all your pieces into the home row of the player across from you. Now, you can see that this will make a 3-player game kind of awkward, because it just is not very balanced, and 1 player going to the other side. And it also means that a 2-player game plays very differently than a 4-player game, because with a 4-player game, there's lots more pieces in the middle. But it does offer some interesting strategy results here. For example, you can jump all the way across the board. Well, that's just like Chinese checkers, but you want to set your own pieces up. Sometimes you have a really good jump, but it involves jumping over one of your flames, and you don't know that you may just rule an ear. This is an abstract strategy game, but at the same time, there is luck whenever you roll those, but it's controlled luck. You can decide to roll over those and jump over those. And if your opponent has several good pieces, sometimes it's worth going out of your way to jump over them to slow him down. These hats are pretty powerful pieces. They can move like a knight. And so by themselves, they can move pretty far. but at the same time, you just got to keep an eye on the whole board and make sure you're not leaving one piece behind, because he may have to run across the board by himself at the end. It's better to jump over your own pieces, or better yet, jump over your opponent's. It's a very simple game, but there's a lot of different strategies in it. I really went into this game expecting to not like it. I really went into it thinking, I'm not sure that, didn't look that spectacular. Old wooden pieces, reminds me of the stuff you see at Cracker Barrel. And I just thought, but it was a fun game. I hate Chinese checkers. But this one I liked because it seems more interesting. Jump over a piece, then you re-roll that piece, and so you have to mix and match that strategy. Will I jump over pieces so that I can force that person to re-roll? Here's a great move for me, but when I jump over on my pieces, they turn into ears. I'm still curious where the thing comes behind the ear piece doesn't move, but whatever. All in all, it's entertaining, and it certainly will fit into my games of logic, which is a special collection of games that I keep and use when I teach geometry. I'm a high school math teacher, and I teach geometry, and I often use games like this one, and this is one that's going to make the list. Yes, there's luck involved in this one, but like I said before, it's controlled luck, so check it out. And hey, look, this bag can fit anywhere. I can stick it up in here. So I'm telling you, it's so much better than a cylinder.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.